Have you ever said, I'm just burnt out? Maybe you've been exhausted. Maybe you've lost interest in the things that you really like to do. Maybe you feel overwhelmed. Maybe you feel like you're running on empty. Now, the question to ask yourself is this exhaustion? Is this burnout? Or maybe something else, namely depression. As a licensed educational psychologist and board certified behavior analyst, one of the common questions I get is, am I experiencing burnout or depression? Now, while both have some similarities, such as emotional exhaustion, such as being unmotivated, such as losing interest in things that you used to like, there are some key differences as well. And today, we're here to break those down for you. Let's talk about it. Burnout is generally associated with chronic stress, especially when that stress is relentless and there's no opportunity to recover. Burnout can have symptoms such as being unmotivated, losing interest in things that you really used to enjoy, feeling like you're running on fumes, loss in interest in your responsibilities, and just an overall sense of not having enough energy. One particular feature of burnout is that it's usually associated with one particular source or role that causes most of the stress. Depression is much more than just feeling exhausted. Depression can affect every aspect of a person's life. Some symptoms of depression are a feeling of numbness, a feeling of being unmotivated, a feeling of losing interest in things that you once used to enjoy. You might have changes in appetite. You may have changes in sleep. And it's more than just feeling sad. Matter of fact, most people that are experiencing depression don't really feel sad at all. They experience a numbness and an emptiness, almost like life has just lost its color. Now, this is where things become confusing, because while both burnout and depression can involve being unmotivated, loss of interest in things one used to enjoy, feeling sad, feeling like you don't have enough energy, the question you really need to ask is, what happens when the stress is removed? So if you can step away from work, from school, your responsibilities, and all of a sudden you feel a lot better, your mood improves, you have more energy, you can do things that you used to like, then it may not be depression, because depression would filter through every aspect of a person's life and it would persist even when the stressor is gone. So while that's not enough to diagnose it fully, it is a good starting point. So here's another important point. Depression and burnout are not always separate. Sometimes prolonged burnout can lead to depression, and other times those who are depressed can experience signs of being burnt out. It's a complex relationship, and that's why it's so important that you get a mental health professional involved and that you don't self-diagnose based on one or two symptoms. It's always the bigger picture that you have to look at. Whether you're experiencing burnout, depression, or you're simply unsure, start by paying attention. Ask yourself these questions. When did my symptoms start? What makes them worse? And what helps, even a little bit? Because if those symptoms are overwhelming and you start to feel like it's persistent and it's affecting every aspect of your life, home, school, relationships, then it may be time to get involved with a mental health professional. Because understanding these symptoms is not weakness. It's really you finding out more about yourself so you know where and how to get help. Burnout and depression may look similar on the surface, but they're not always the same thing. The goal is not to self-diagnose yourself. The goal is to understand yourself so that you can seek the support that you need. And if you feel like this video can help somebody else, consider sharing it with them so they can get the support that they need. And if you want to continue to receive information and videos on mental health, educational psychology, behavior, parenting, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Because remember, the more we understand ourselves, the better we can help others. And if you want to continue to be able to help yourself and others, there's one thing that you must do, and that is stay tuned.